Only last year was when Prime Minister Robert Gordon Menzies announced Australia was at war with Germany. 1939, 3rd of September. One of the first casualties were at play. The 2nd Australian Imperial Force, 6th, 7th, and 9th Division were sent overseas to help Britain. Before the battle, Japanese General Tomoyuki Yamashita had advanced 30,000 men down the Malayan Peninsula in the Malayan Campaign. The current happenings as Singapore recently getting invaded does not seem well for our soldiers. Only last year, Pearl Harbor, the main base for the US fleet, was bombed. Japanese troops landed on the north coast of Malaya, and at the same time, Japanese carrier-based aircraft bombed the United States Pacific Fleet. Only a few hours before, Lieutenant General Arthur Percival signed the largest surrender in British history at Singapore. His force of 85,000 men had been defeated by just 35,000 Japanese troops. With the ally of Britain getting invaded as Singapore, trusting the US will join the fight and aid us in this war. We have a civilian in Singapore, Malacca, and a soldier from Australia, who will describe their experiences.
Wow, before we even know anything, the Japanese already landed in our country. Our soldiers tried their best but still kena overpowered. They got more people, more power. After World War I, Australia already suspect Japan will expand their empire. That's why they come out now with Singapore strategy, like Big Bang to stop Japan. Part of it was to build one huge naval base here, about 54 square kilometer. Oh, big, yeah. Now, I don't really know what will happen next. Honestly, I'm quite scared for my family, for Singapore. If this war will still go on, jialat already.
I tell you what, I trust the US if they're really going to join the war. I don't want to die. We're all scared, and all we can do is just hope Britain puts their pants on and don't up again.
Australia dispatched the 8th Division, 4 RAAF squadrons, and 8th warships to Singapore and Malaya. The devastation for the people of Singapore can be sympathized with. Japan is deadly, and it is frightening what can happen in the future of today. With the US now involved in the war, we can only hope they support Australia. In Pearl Harbor, a young soldier named John Marsh shared his observation only an hour after the bombing started, only to fall in the Japanese Marines to sneak in for a final blow on Pearl Harbor from 7:55 to 8:50 a.m.
My team have been left behind on the ship. I don't believe Japan will stop, but so many have died from just the first wave. Who knows how many more are coming? If I've learned anything from the first war, is that death will be inevitable for so many people.
Back in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Winston Churchill describes this destruction as the worst disaster and the largest capitulation in British history. The war will be a destructive period for sure, and we intend for the warfare to end, hopefully in the 1940s. Scientists predict within the month of September in 1945 to narrow it down. In the winter of 1943 to 1944, around 10% of the main bomber force included of a battle set to happen in Berlin. Approximately 15,000 Australian soldiers at the 54 square kilometer naval base will stay at the base. The Japanese will not be able to take any prisoners of this war. With Singapore in defeat and growing empire of Japan, entrusting our infantry with America can concede the fight of World War II.